Well, and welcome everyone. Today's Omud is Makos Daf Yutes Omud Base. We learned the Liluyin Nishmas. Aber ben Ani Yitzchak, Baruch Hashem Yehuda, Yolanda ben David, Paradis Bas. Okay. So with the bottom three lines in Yutes Omud Aleph, the Gemara is discussing how we learn, how do we know Maisa can't be eaten. Meimer of Rabbi Shmuel, one of three wise men. How do you know Maisa Sheni can't be eaten b'zman hazeh in Yerushalayim? So the Gemara says, "Umakish Maisa lebechar." Third line from the bottom. There's a hekesh of Maisa to bechar. In other words, bechar we learn because bechar is a hekesh of the eating. Can you eat bechar b'zman hazeh? No. Just like you can't sprinkle the blood. There's a hekesh of damai to b'sarai. You can't sprinkle the blood because there's no mizbeach, so you can't eat the bukhar either. And there's a hekesh of bukhar to Maisa Sheni, and therefore you can't eat Maisa Sheni nowadays b'zman hazeh in Yerushalayim. Makish Maisa bukhar. Ask the Gemara the following question: V'chi dova lamed behekesh, chayzer melamed behekesh. You can't do a hekesh to hekesh. You can only use one hekesh. You can't say this is a hekesh for that, that's hekesh for that. You can't keep learning hekesh to hekesh. When it comes to kochim, Rashi says, you can only do one hekesh. You can't do a hekesh to a hekesh. So here you learn bechar to dam and maisa to bechar. That's a hekesh to hekesh. You can't do that. The Gemara answers, Meiser Dagon Chulinhu. It's not Kochim. It's not Kochim. Meiser Sheni is not Kochim. It's Chulin. And therefore it's not considered a Hekesh to Hekesh. Hekesh to Hekesh is only a problem when it comes to Kochim. But it's not an issue when it comes to Chulin. So turn the page. You test on the base. That's all very well if you say Bosa lo medazlina. Alamanda mabosa melamed azlina Michael Meimar. The question is who you follow? What's the problem here? The thing you're learning from, or the thing you're learning to? If the thing you're learning to has to be hekdesh, you're right. But if the thing you're learning from is hekdesh, then you have the same problem. So the Gemara says, "Dama basa chada milsehu." Really, the fact that we know you can't eat the dam of a bachar, you can't eat the meat of a bachar from dam. That's not a hekesh, really. It's chada milsa. It's one pasuk. It's one din. It's not a hekesh, and therefore ma'isa from bachar is one hekesh. So that you can learn. Tiny new Gemara now. The Mishnah said kache kachim. Kache kachim. 2 dots. Tanina chada zimna. Why are you mentioning kache kachim? We already had it one time. It's already been mentioned. Why are you mentioning it again? It said, Maisa Sheni v'hekdesh shalei niftu. You get Makos for, right? If you eat Maisa Sheni, that wasn't nifta, you like her. So why does it mention again, kache kache? That's the Gemara's question. So the Gemara answers, Omar Rav Yosi bar Chanina. Seifa, the second half of the Mishnah, that mentions kache kachim, is the Maisa Sheni tahor, the gavra tahor. Here it's talking about a case where the man is tahor, the kohen is tahor, the mice is tahor, but he's eating outside Yerushalayim, that he gets malchus. And the Reisha of the Mishnah is talking about Maisa Sheni Tomei, the Maisa is Tomei, the Gavra Tomei, and the man himself is Tomei, the Ka'achalei Yerushalayim, and he's eating Tomei in Yerushalayim, he gets malchus. So that's why you have two. That's why it's mentioned twice. One is talking about tahar, the eats a tahar outside Yerushalayim. The other is Tomei, eats a Tomei inside Yerushalayim. The Gemara says, "Menali de mechayev ale mishum tuma." How do I know that you're chayev eating Maisa Sheni if you're Tomei? The Tanya, it says in the Brayso, Reb Shimon Omer. It says in the pasuk everyone knows this. Le'ba'alti b'meni b'tomei. This long pasuk that we read a few times. Shalom aleichem. Le'ba'alti b'meni b'tomei. I didn't destroy the Maisa Sheni when I was Tomei. Shalom aleichem. We didn't destroy the Ma'aser Sheni when I was Tamei. Right? So it's a big machais what this bi'arti means. Does bi'arti mean I didn't eat it? I didn't burn it? According to Ritva, bi'arti mena b'tamei means I didn't, any type of consumption. Bi'arti actually means any type of consumption. Need a Gemara?
I'll share with you.
Okay. I didn't consume. We're on your Tesla base, about 15 lines down. Bi'arti mena b'tamei. I didn't consume this. I didn't consume the Ma'aser Sheni when I was Tamei. The Mashmai says that if you're Tamei, it's also right. Kivan Shani Tamei Vutar, Bein Shani Tar Vutamei. Either way, it's a problem. Now, as you say, when you do vidu, when you bring the Ma'aser Sheni, you do this vidu. I didn't eat it when I was Tamei. Kivan Shani Tar Vutama, Bein Shani Tar Vutamei. So the Gemara says, and you're there. I still don't know where it says you can't eat Ma'aser Sheni when you're Tamei. Where did it say that? So the Gemara answers, what do you mean? Of course you can't eat Ma'aser Sheni when you're Tamei. It's a Mefurish pasuk. What's a pasuk? It says, Nefesh ashatiga boy v'toma ata erev lo yochal min hakachim. It says someone who touches it and he's Tamei, lo yochal min hakachim. Don't eat any kachim when you're Tamei. What do you want? Elo tumasatzu minayin. So what's the Gemara's kasha? Tumasatzu. How do you know you can't eat if the Ma'aser Sheni, the Ma'aser Sheni fruit is Tamei? How do you know you can't eat that? You're tar. But the Ma'aser Sheni is Tamei. Who says it's also? Dichsiv. We're going back to our original pasuk, which we brought many drushes from. Lo yisucha lecha b'sharecha. You can't eat this Ma'aser Sheni in your gates, in your shar. And further on it says, b'sharecha techlenu, eat it in your shar. Atamei v'atar. That's what it says in the pasuk. Eat it, whether you're tar, whether you're tamei. Tana de Rabbi Shmuel taught, afilu tamei v'tar oichlin b'kara achas ve'en chayshishin. This pasuk is coming to tell me that even if one guy is tamei and one guy is tahor, you can eat the same bowl, you can eat together, and there's no kshash that you're going to accidentally touch the tamei. The tamei is going to touch you. There's no problem. So there's no problem eating when you're tamei. Now, and the Torah says, which Tomei? The guy that's tar over there, he can eat it over here. Here you can't eat. That Tomei that you can eat there, the Sharilach Gabitar, okay, and how do you know you can be paid to it though? So you've got this Tomei fruit. You can't eat it. Who said you could be paid to it? Who said you can redeem it? So the din is we saw that inside Yerushalayim you eat it. If you take it outside Yerushalayim, you have to be paid. You have to redeem it. How do I know you should be paid the Ma'aser Sheni even in Yerushalayim? Tamalemer kiloi suchal seisai. You can't seisai. What does seisai mean? We'll see. Vein seisai achila. Seis means achila. You can't eat it. Shenema v'yisa masais meis panov. Okay, so lo yisuchal seisei means you can't eat. So Amar of Bibi, you knew Bibi's in the Gemara? I mean, but Bibi's in the news a lot. He's in the Gemara today. Amar of Bibi, Amar of Asi, Minay le Ma'aser Sheni tar should play the Ma'aser. How do I know you could be paid the Ma'aser Sheni? Afilu b'psia achas chutz l'chayma. So the rule is outside Yerushalayim you got to be paid there. How do I know even if you're one step outside Yerushalayim, you could be paid there? You have to be paid there. Shenamaki lo yisuchal seisai. He uses the same drasha, seisai, and he's learning from seisai that as soon as you have to carry it into Yerushalayim, you're outside. You got to take it. You got to be like Mesa to carry it. That's said to carry. As soon as you got to carry it into Yerushalayim, you got to be paid there. Gemara asks, how are you using it to tell me this? One step out, you got to be paid there. You just told me you need it to tell me that you got to be paid at Bechlal outside Yerushalayim. So, if that would be true, we don't want to learn one thing from it, it would just say loisachal loichla, you can't eat it. Why he uses this lashon loisachal seisai? He could have just said loituchal lechoi, don't eat it, loichloi, my seisai. So we're learning two things from it. Ve'ema kulalahai, ve'ema kulalahai udasa. So maybe it's only come to tell me this thing, that you can't carry it. If it just want to tell me that you have to take it out, it's already one step out of Yerushalayim, it would say litloi. My seisai, what does it mean? Seisai shmam latat. The Gemara is coming to tell me leisuchal seisai means two things we're learning from it. That's how you can learn. Both these are issues from one pasuk. Yosef Rav Chanina v'Rav Hoshia. Okay, Rav Chanina and Rav Hoshia said they were coming by Elehu, a Pischi Yerushalayim, and they're both sitting on the gates of Yerushalayim. It's a machlekes if it means that they were sitting on the gates of Yerushalayim or they're discussing what's happened by a fruit that's at the gates of Yerushalayim. So Ma'u Pshita, so they said Ma'u Pshita hu b'chutz u'masa b'fnim. Let's say he's standing outside Yerushalayim, but the fruit, the basket, is inside Yerushalayim. Kol tu mechitzais. So the fruit's in Yerushalayim, it's good. The mechitzas is kailet, and it's, I guess he can eat it in Yerushalayim. It's not, he doesn't have to, he could be paid. Now he could be paid it if he takes it out. Hu b'fnim u'masa b'chutz. What happens if he's inside, but the fruit's still outside? Ma'u, what's the din? He didn't yet bring the fruits into Yerushalayim. So, Tanalahu Ahusaba b'debei Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. This old man said the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. It says in the pasuk, Ki yichak mimcha hamokai mimilu echa. If the place, Yerushalayim, is far mimilu echa, so it could have just said mimcha. If the city is far from you, you could be paid it. But it said b'milu echa, it's mashma. The Chayim explain, the Rishonim saying that milu echa is the lashon of schaira. What have you got, like your goods? Your schaira. So it means l'chaira that even if it's in your goods, you're in your shleim, but you got your schaira is outside. It's your schaira. It's still kilo came into Yerushalayim. So boy, if Papa naket le bekane mai. Okay, typical question. What are you going to do now? He's in Yerushalayim. He's got a long stick and he's holding his fruit with his fishing rod outside Yerushalayim. Mai, what's the din? Is that called as in Yerushalayim or not? Teiku, we don't know. We'll wait till Mashiach comes. It's not relevant till then anyway. Huh? Yeah.
Mashiach will come, we'll have an answer.
Amar Ravasi, Amar V'yechanan. Ma'aseh Sheni. Until now we spoke about the last Gemara, discussed Bikurim. From when is Bikurim? When you chayv misa with Bikurim. And the Gemara said you only chayv misa for Bikurim if you eat Bikurim once you bought it in Yerushalayim. Then you chayv with Bikurim. Now his question is Ma'aseh Sheni, Mei Moshe chayv olav. When you chayiv with Ma'aseh Sheni? Similar question. When does it become Ma'aseh Sheni? That you chayiv if you eat it. So again, the Bailim, he eats the Ma'aseh Sheni in Yerushalayim, right? So what do you mean? What do you mean? He's chayiv once. So the Gemara answers Mishira Perei Chayma. He's chayiv Ma'aseh Sheni when he brings it into Yerushalayim. What do you mean? When he brings it to Yerushalayim, he can eat it. Le'efach. Ma'aseh Sheni, he eats it. He's got to bring it into Yerushalayim. In Yerushalayim, anywhere in Yerushalayim, old city, you bring it to Yerushalayim. Now he can eat it. If he wants to be paid it, if he takes it outside Yerushalayim, he has to be paid it. Right? But in Yerushalayim, he can eat it. So what's the Gemara saying over here? Me'imasa chayav yonalav. When's he chayav? B'shira pnei chayma. Once he brings it into Yerushalayim. Once he brings it to Yerushalayim, he can eat it. What do you mean? Why is he chayav? Well, chayav, what it means is that now he's chayav if he takes it out and eats it without being paid. That's what it really means. He's chayav once he brings it into Yerushalayim. Now he takes it out of Yerushalayim. Now he's going to be chayav if he eats it without redeeming. So my timer. How do I know that the Ma'aseh Sheni has to see Yerushalayim in order to be chayiv? Domakra, it says in the pasuk Lifnei Hashem Elokecha Soichlenu. It says eat it in the base of Mikdash. V'ksiv Leisuchalecha b'sharecha. Don't eat it in your at home. Kolecha dekrina be Lifnei Hashem Elokecha Toichlenu. Whenever you read on it the pasuk, eat it in the base of Mikdash. Krina be Leisuchalecha b'sharecha. So it's only forbidden to eat at home once you brought it into the base of Mikdash, unless you paid, unless you paid off the goods. Sorry. And anyway, you don't read the pasuk of Leisach Alecha. Wherever it's not in the base of Mikdash, so we don't say the pasuk of Leisach Alecha b'shorecha. There's no issa to eat ma'aser sheni. Now, Meisivei. Now, actually, take a look in Taisus, the second last Taisus, Amr Rabbi Yechanan. Me'mosai ma'aser sheni chayov olav mishir pnei habayis. Says Taisus, v'kasha. The given shir pnei habayis, hachinami de mutter leich lei teich. Leich lei. Hachinami de mutter leich lei. Im kei lama huska kla'elam liftes ma'aser sheni. Why do you ever have to pay the ma'aser sheni? What's he saying? If it's not also to eat, right? Until you bring it into the base of Mikdash, so don't bring it. What's the problem? They give it the kind of shir pnei bias. It's mutter to eat chutz outside. Inside you can't eat it, right? Or inside it becomes already ma'aser sheni. But you can't eat it. The Gemara just said there's nothing wrong with eating ma'aser sheni. There's no lav until you bring it to the base of Mikdash. Once you bring it to the base of Mikdash, now the Bailim can eat it, and if he wants to take it outside to eat it, he's got to be paida. But until you bring it to Yerushalayim, it's not asa. So there's 3 stages. Before you bring it to Yerushalayim, you can eat. After it's in Yerushalayim, you can eat. If you take it out of Yerushalayim again, you got to be paida. So just don't bring it to Yerushalayim. You don't have to be paida. What's going on over there? Why do you have to bring ma'aser sheni? Because they give it to Kaid Mishir Pnei Bayis Nami Mutter Leichai Chutz. You're allowed to eat it outside. Don't ever be paid that. So Tais says, of course there's no lav. There's nothing wrong with eating ma'aser sheni. Tais says, you're not even a lav. Aval esei ika, you're bevatel mitzvahs esei techsev v'tzal sakezav yadecha aval b'lei p'di alai. So you're not over this essay if you paid it, but there's a mitzvahs essay to bring ma'aser sheni. So if anyone asks you, is it a lav to eat fruit without ma'aser sheni being taken? No. There's no lav not to eat ma'aser sheni. There's just a bit less. So let's see 2 more lines of the Gemara. I have to finish actually 2 minutes early today. So it says the Gemara, Meisivei Rabbi Yossi Omer. Interesting case. It's interesting for a few reasons. We'll see. There's a lot of halachas from this. Kohen. Sha'al Sabiyale Teina. He has in his hand a teina, a little tiny, what's the teina? A date. Fig, right? Fig, not a date. A date is a tamar.
Tamar, right.
I know Hebrew.
I've
been to the stores here.
Figs are amazing. So
right?
Figs are amazing.
He held it to Heina, Shel Tevel.
forget that one.
It's Tevel. He hasn't taken Trumas or Maishas or anything from it. You got a fig, Tevel, right? And he says, Omar, this is what the guy says. He says the hocus pocus, Omar, Teina Zu, this Teina, Trumasa Bu'ukza. The Truma should be taken from the Ukutz. Ukutz is the part that's attached to the tree,
That you gotta throw
the
in.
stem. Yeah, that's the Trumasa Bu'ukza. Now he can eat Truma. He's a Kain. But you still got to be mafresh.
Also, he eats the fig and he leaves the pit behind.
He eats
says,
it.
This is the truma.
He eats
After
it.
He eats it.
He's a Kain. He can eat it.
Or he bites off the tip.
He eats the whole thing. He takes one bite, he eats the whole thing. But he's a Kain. He's allowed to eat it. It's Truma.
Okay.
But still, you got to take Trumas and Maisus, right? Maiser Rishon B'Tzvaina. The Maiser Rishon. Now remember, Truma is you're supposed to give 2%, 150 to the Kain. Tiny bit you give to Kain. Maiser Rishon is a 1/10 that you give to the Levi, right? Maiser Rishon B'Tzvaina. He's allowed to eat that also. He's a Kain. He's also from Shevet Levi. He can eat Maiser. Well, Maiser Sheni, and the Maiser Sheni is at the bottom, the dryma, the bottom. I don't know, you just stuff and drop them up, down, drop down. The Maiser Sheni, now Maiser Sheni is supposed to be 10% of the fruit, right? Whatever's remaining. Basically, the taxes on fruit is quite high. If you want to know why Jews are so generous, you got to give 2% to the Kayan, 10% to the Levi, and 10% of whatever's remaining. So there's 90% remaining, 10% of that. So 9%, you got to give.
So you get 80% of the fruit.
Yeah.
Meister Shane, yeah.
Now, Meister Shane, he's eating himself in Yerushalayim, but Tyre, he doesn't have to give it then, or he can eat it. And in year 3 and 6, I think it is, you give it to the Oni. But so I guess 2/3 of the time, consider it another 3%, you got to give away. That's before all your taxes and all your arnonas and all that type of stuff. Just on your fruit. So Maisa Sheni Ledraima. Maisa Sheni is the bottom of the fruit. Okay, so what happens? Vishnas Maisa Sheni. This is year of Maisa Sheni. V'u Yerushalayim, and he's in Yerushalayim, so he's allowed to eat it. He's in Yerushalayim. It's Maisa Sheni. Or Maisa Ani V'u Begvulin. Or Maisa Ani V'u Begvulin, and he's in Tveria, but he's an Ani. Okay, so Achla, Gemara says, like he gets Malkus. Why? Rashi says he gets Malkus because of Trumas Maisa. We'll carry on tomorrow. He gets Malkus of Trumas Maisa because you took Maisa, but you have to give Trumas Maisa. You have to take a Truma from that Maisa and give that to the Kayan. I don't know why he didn't do that.
1 second, a Cohen needs to do that too?
The Levi, whoever gets the Maisa has to give Trumas Maisa. He's got to give a tenth. The Levi gets 10%, and he's got to give 10% of that, i.e. 1% of the original crop.
He has to give 10%.
The Levi has to give 1% to the Kayan. So the Kayan gets 3%, 2% from the original guy, 1% from the Levi. So the Kayan gets 3%. It's not that big, but you know. Okay, so the question is, he's in Yerushalayim. Okay, well, Karen, we'll see tomorrow this whole Shiloh over here. But the first question is they want to bring a rye from here. This is less than a Zayas. He's eating a Taina, right? How much Truma is he eating? A tenth of a Taina. That's less than a Kazayas. Why is he getting Malchus? So someone want to say, you see from here, it's talking about Malchus Marvis. It's not talking about Malchus Doraisa. It's Malchus Darabanan. He doesn't get Malchus Doraisa. Taisa says, Bechlal is Malchus Darabanan because Truma on Taina, all fruit, Bizmanas, not Bizmanas, Bechlal, Bizmanah Taira. Trumas and Maishas is only the Rabbanon except for Shivas Aminim. Only on Shivas Aminim do you have to take Trumas and Maishas Rabbanon and Yulaika. Everything else only with Rabbanon. Shkach, they have a wonderful day.
Have a great